All right, I wanted to wait and make this video because I'm on call and there's no telling when my phone's gonna ring, but I don't want to wait any longer to do this video, so I'm gonna risk it for the biscuit. I've been running these gas. These are just the regular high octane strings for about a year now, and they're perfect, and I just like to change my strings out once a year just to know I'm on the good side of things. I ordered the System X strings. It's like a salt and pepper type color, white and black, if you can see that. So it ought to look good with what I got going on here. They claim to get you a little bit more feet per second, so we shall see. Some kind of new material they got. Don't quote me on this. I don't know what it is, but let's get them installed. Try to get them installed at least before work calls. But first thing I'm going to do is put my bow in the draw board and see what my exact draw length is. Those that don't know, just because you have a 30-inch mod in your bow, which I do, doesn't mean your bow's at 30. It all depends on how many twists are in the string, what your cables, how many twists are in your cables. It all alter just a little bit, and that can tweak your draw length just a touch. And that 30-inch mark right here lines right up with the cut on the grip right here. So now that we got that measurement, I want this to go launching across the... All right, time to pull the razor blades out. Put this guy in the press. I'm just gonna come in and cut it from the side. Try to, from my knot, and cut it. One thing I don't like to do is just jab my knife or whatever into the aluminum and cut it, because that can make little nicks and all kind of stuff in your D-loop, and that's just going to rub your string over time. I'm just funny about some stuff, but you do it how you want to do it. I don't care if you take a hacksaw to it and cut it out, but whatever works. Just be careful. Main thing, safety is the safest thing. So pop this guy out. This is a 3/16, just a radical peep, I think. I've been shooting those for years. Don't see no reason to change. All right, that's all good. Take the string off this bad boy. Get off of there, just like that. And just like that. Got a washer there, don't lose your washer. And if everything goes right and you got your press set up right, it should just, axle should just tap right out like that. There's that. Always, what I always do, check your bearings when you got it apart like this. Got some dirt in there in mine. Make sure you don't have nothing crazy going on. And get ready for your new cables. I have noticed sometimes they do, and you can see on this one, after, if you shoot a lot, I shoot pretty decent. I'm not sure if you can see that. It is kind of closed up right here. Kind of mashed together. So what I will do, let me take this stabilizer off. What I'll do is I'll just take a regular pick and I'll take it and kind of push it in there. Don't mar it up, but kind of push it in there like so. And kind of spread them apart, or get them back to where they were, just a little bit. I mean, it's not going to hurt if you don't do that. There's just these little boogers here are just going to be kind of hard to get back in. So here we are. That pops right in like this. Take the cam. Once you get them on there, to make sure they do not come off. See, like that, they're coming off. Make sure they don't come off. Just take it and just put your little twist in it right there, like that, in your whatever kind of cable this is. But just put a little twist in it and it holds a little bit of tension on it, and you'll be a lot more happy. I'm not the fastest at this, but it will be done right. All right, axle's back in. Find my screw and my washer and my tiny little Allen wrench wherever I put it. Get this girl back started. And these things, these little bolts, axle bolts I think they're called, don't have to be tight. So just a little touch and you're good. Put them too tight and they're gonna mash the bearings and it's gonna cause problems down the road. So now that that's on, I'm gonna go ahead and do the other side, knock it out, and I'll catch up back with you guys when we go to put the cables in these little yoke splitters or whatever they're called. It's gonna go right in this little splitter. Put your end of your cable back through and just like that. Kind of work it back and forth very carefully until it pops in there like that. And now I can go ahead and hook this up to my top cam. Just like that. Take your time with it. This ain't a race. Nobody's watching you. This is you working on your own stuff. Screw everybody else. All right. Cables are on. Now we're ready for the string. All right. For those that don't know this, in any string you get, you're going to have a little piece of string hanging off the string. That is the center of your string. That is where your peep sight goes. That goes to the top side of the bow. So this loop will go to the top cam. Try not to let any twists out, which I don't believe your string's nearly as important. You can always get it back right. But I feel like I'm going to have to end up putting some twist in this thing to play with my draw length a little bit. So I'm really not too worried about the string. Oh, get in there. Like this. In there. Around the cam. In the catch. Whatever you call that thing. All right, I took a small little break. So, back to it. Find the arrow of choice. It's a 1K IP4 knock. I'm not gonna pull my vise out and everything. I'm just gonna do this the way I used to do it. I haven't seen anyone saying it was wrong or haven't figured out anything wrong about doing it this way, but pay attention and you might learn something, you might not. It's kind of common sense. But one good thing about, or one thing important about new strings is your center serving. Make sure you get the right center serving for your knock. Try to tell your string manufacturer the knock you're running and see if they can help you with their serving size, because you want something that's just going to click right on. See, I'm moving my arrow back and forth and there's no string movement here. You don't want any more torque than what you're going to add to your bow. And you want it to kind of just pop off when you pull the, just pop the string. And if the arrow just kind of pops off like that, you're good. So, back to it. All I'm going to do is just knock my arrow, flip my rest up. Gravity is going to automatically hold this arrow straight down. Okay. I'm going to just slide my knock down, or my whole arrow down until it's barely touching the rest. Just barely. And that looks about right there. So that is dang near perpendicular, 90 degrees, whatever you want to call it. So I'm going to start with my knock sets. I like to tie one on the bottom and top. That way if I ever got to change my D loop out, there's no misconception about my knock pinch. So I'll just come on one side and do a double overhand knot. Make sure you don't move your arrow. Arrow's still sitting good. Put it right up against the knot. Pull it tight. As long as your knuckles crack, you know you're pulling it tight. All right, from here, make sure everything looks good. My arrow looks good. Knot's tied in kind of tight. This arrow can come off for now. A double overhand knot up top. Double overhand knot on the bottom. And just let that stack right down kind of below that first knot. And what you're going to be doing is you're going to be stacking knots. I'm going to do like 4, maybe 5 altogether, just coming down. So there's 2, or there's 1, excuse me. 2, 3, 4. And I'm just going to finish it off at the top with just a regular square knot. If you don't know what a square knot is, left over right and right over left. It just kind of binds everything down just like that. Take these, cut them about 1/4 inch. And that's a dull razor blade. Cut them about 1/4 inch or so. And pull you a little bit more serving out. Now, put your arrow back up against that knock set. And this is your important part. You tie your knot there. Kind of want to leave just about a servant's thickness of knock play here, where this will kind of wiggle just a little bit, because as you draw back, the string is going to come to a pinch and it's going to shrink down, and it's going to mash your knock if you got it too tight. Depending on your draw length and the string angle, depends on how much you want to kind of gap your knock. So I'm going to do it about what I know about there. And it's almost, in my opinion, it's almost better to have too much gap than not enough gap, because gravity and everything else is going to pull that knock down. As long as your serving's good and not too tight against your knock, it's going to pull that knock down to where it needs to be every time. So I'm going to go about there, being I have a 30-inch draw. I'm going to go do 3 up here. And tie this one off with a, or 2 up here, excuse me, tie this one off with a square knot. Just like that. 1/4 inch here. Boop. Get rid of that. Find you a lighter and burn these guys down. All right, time for a D loop. Now, I have right here. This is BCY number 23. Usually use 24. I think I have some 24 somewhere. Yeah, right here. So you can see the difference. This is 24. This is what your regular shops are going to use probably. You can see it's kind of a stiffer material. How I'm just holding it and it's straight out. Where if you take this material and hold it out, it's like a limp noodle, you know, like the older guys. Yeah. So young guy, older guy, what this is gonna do is just that much little bit of torque a little bit less torque when you come to your anchor. This is gonna be a little bit more flexible as you twist your release, and where this will be a little bit more stiff. You get what I'm saying? Old guy, young guy. So kind of adjust your knot down to like that, okay? Now you're gonna do the top complete opposite, where your burnt end is facing the opposite way. Just like this, and that D-loop is gonna stretch out a little bit, so stick it in there, pull it up tight, and then I'll take the big daddies, which is what they call me, stick it in here, and you can kind of wrench on it just a little bit more. I don't want to get it too tight yet because I still got to put my peep in here, and I can rotate my D-loop to match my peep. And that way, if I got to rotate my string or whatever to get my peep right, then I'll be able to do so. So now we can go ahead and get the peep. What I can do, I should have got like a measurement just to get close. My peep was a little low. I lowered it down just a little bit from tack to hunting. I do like to have a little bit of higher peep if I'm shooting tack or a lot of targets. That way I get a lot more yardage out of it. So if you didn't know, the higher your peep is, the more yardage you will get out of a sight tape. So looking at here, I'm looking at like 5.5. So let's go like 5 and maybe 3/4. All right, that rope's at 6. So bring this down a little bit. It's roughly 5 3/4 right there. I got this marked. That's where my peep's gonna be. I'm gonna press the bow just enough to split the string and put my peep in. Make sure you put this guy in the right way. Find your divider. Put this string up. I always leave this little divider inside the string just because sometimes I do change peeps. That way I always know where the peep is or where the center of the string is. And our peep sight and our D-loop lined up pretty good. You can see peep sight is facing straight back and D-loop is facing the same size as my peep sight. Before you draw it back, make sure all your cables and everything are seated well, and so they're not going to jump off anything when you draw back. Everything looks good. Probably going to tighten this up now, be in there facing the same way. So here we are, checking timing. If you can see, I'm not sure what you can see. Oh, here we are. Okay. The top's hitting just, they're about perfect, man. The top's hitting just a touch. I'm gonna roll with that because I do like my top cam. I do like my top cam just a touch. I mean, it's kind of funny on how you get it to do so, but I do like my top cam to touch just a touch before my bottom cam. And what that does is it kind of helps your pin if you got a problem with, or have a problem sometimes, or your pin kind of, if you're aiming here and your pin's always wanting to fall a little bit low, fall a little bit low, fall a little bit low. The top cam touching just a tick before your bottom cam will help with that, along with adjusting your nocking point, which draw length and all that kind of plays together to tweak it right and everything. But that's my way of doing it. We could at least check the draw length while I was back here, so we're going to do that real quick. Right back in the same spot. You see the 30, you see the shelf of the riser, so we are Oh boy, there we go. We are good on that. 30's here, shelf of the risers here, draw length's perfect. $71.5, so perfect. I'm gonna leave it right there. It probably gonna stretch out a little bit or settle a little bit. So peep side is good. Yeah, 71.5. All right, here we go. First shot. Okay, okay. I'm not sure if I'm gonna move anything right now. If anything, it may be just a touch of a right tear right now, maybe. If anything, but we're gonna roll with that for now. So that's the bow build, not the, well, pretty much a bow build. New string, gas system, X strings. I'm gonna try to shorten this video up as long as I can, short as I can, because this was a pretty long video. But the only thing I got to do is tie my peep in, and we're ready to go. Bullet hole, new strings, everything's good. Thank you guys for watching. We'll catch you on the next one. Peace.